So now we are going to start with the CSS part of this project, which is our digital clock application. So for that we need to use the style.css file. So right now you can see inside our style.css file nothing is actually typed. So the first element that we are going to style is the container element, which is this main container that act as a parent for the other elements. So we are going to start with the first container. So here I am going to type in the container, and then I am going to start the block of the container. Also I am going to cross verify the name of the container. I am going to copy this and I will be pasting it here so that it doesn't give me any error. Okay, the first property that we need is actually the display property. So display I am going to use the flex. If I do that, then you can see both of the elements is now appearing in the single row. Then after that I need to provide the flex direction property. So flex direction I am going to provide the column. Okay, and then after that I will be using here a justify content is actually going to be center. If I save it, and then align items is actually going to be the center. So now you can see they are actually appearing at the center of the screen. Okay, so that is why I did that. Where is our window? This is the window. I actually forgot to resize it again. So I'm going to resize it, and so that you can see the code output while I'm typing it inside the CSS part. Okay, and next property we actually need to specify the height. So height is going to be like 100 VH, which is view height. Okay, and if I control save it, then you can see this is now perfectly at the center of the screen. And then after that we need to specify the background color. So background color here will be using the hexadecimal notation code, which is the D3. Not add 3, it's like D3 and capital D and capital D3. So this will be the color code we are going to use for the container. Now you can see the default styling of the browser, which is the body element. So we need to style the default style of the body, means restyle it, or you can say that remove the default style of the browser from the body. So to do that, for that we need to select the body selector. So I'm going to select the body selector at the top and modify its content. So the first thing is we need to use the margin property. So here I will be using the margin is actually going for the 0, and then padding is actually 0, and then I need to use the border style property. Border style is going to like box border. I can say that the border box. Okay, so if I save it, then you can see the padding is the default styling is removed. So that way actually want. Now the next step is we need to style the card element, which will be the main card, so that we can make our application look like this. So for that we need to select the card. So here I will be using the dot card, and then opening the body of the card element. Inside of that, first I need to specify the background color. So background color is going to be like #FFF, which is for the complete white. Okay, so this will be our card element, and inside of that first I also need to specify the border property. So border radius is going to like 13 pixel, and then I need to specify the box shadow. So box shadow is like 0 pixel, and then 0 pixel, and then from 10 pixel we actually want it, and I will be using here RGBA function, which is 0 0 0, and then here I will be using 0.5. If I save it, then you can see we have, and you can see this is actually not styled. We are going to do that also, but first we need to style this card and the h1 element. We are going to style one by one, and later on our application will look like this. Okay, the application that we want to build. And after that we need to add the border property as well. So for the border I will be using here 2 pixel border, which is a solid border, and the color is going to be like #632, and we have DF8. So this will be the color we are going to use for the border. And after that I'm going to specify the max width property. So max width is going to be like 400 pixel. Okay, now after specifying the max width property, you can see this card has a border as well, the rounded border, but there is one problem. You can see these timer elements, which is our span element, is not appearing inside the card. The reason for that is actually we have actually forgot to add it inside the card element, because right now this is a separate two elements. So we need to add this clock div inside this card div as well. So I'm going to just simply cut this code from here and paste it inside the card div, because these two are the child of the card, then it will be inside the card. And if I save it, then you can see now the timer elements is appearing inside the card one. Okay, so now it's time to style the h1 element, because we have fixed the problem. So the first thing is we need to select the h1 element. So I'm directly going to select with the tag selector name, and inside of that first I need to specify the font size, but there is no need to specify the font size because h1 has the maximum height and width. So we are going to ignore this property right now. I just use it for the experimental purpose. So text line property, I'm going to use this center, and after that I'm here using the background property. So background is going to be like okay, so here I actually need to use the background color because we are not using the any image. Okay, so we are using here a background color. So the color we are going to use this same color, which is this blue one, because we are going to use it the same, the border that we have specified. You can see this is the color we get it. Now we need to modify it. So the first is we need to add the another property, which is padding from top. So padding from top is going to like 10 pixel, and then padding from bottom also is going to like 10 pixels. So I have actually don't used here a shorthand property of the CSS. I just simply specifying the property manually because I need to adjust it. If I do that, then you can see this is actually appearing at the screen of as well. So don't worry, we are going to fix it one by one. You can see this is the corner is appearing. This is not a corner for this one. This is actually the border corners. We are going to fix all of this one by one. And then we need to add the margin bottom property. So margin bottom is going to like 10 pixel, and then we need to use the overflow, so it's going to be like hidden. So once I do that, then you can see overflow hidden property is actually displaying its result. And then we need to specify the color. So color I'm using here a white color, which is FFF, and then we are getting the here a white color of the digital clock. Okay guys, and then after that here we need to use the border radius property. So the border radius is going to like 10 pixel, and then we need to use here a 10 pixel, and then after that here I'm using the 0 pixel and then 0 pixel. If I do that, then you can see the corner edges is actually fixed. Okay, so this is for the our main header part, the main label part. Okay, so here you can see this digital clock. Okay, so we are going to fix one by one. Now it's time to specify the code for the clock one. So this is the clock element. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one and coming back to the CSS file. So here I will be writing here clock, and I'll start the body of the element. And first I need to specify the padding. So padding is going to like 25 pixel. If I control save it, then you can see the border element is taking some space. Okay, and then I'm going to use the display property. So we are going to use the display flex. If I do that, then nothing is changed, I think. So we need to use the align property as well. Align items at the center. So align item center, and then I need to specify the margin bottom property. So margin bottom is going to like 10 pixel. Okay, so this is actually working fine. Then we need to add the time element. So we have our time element. Okay, so the span classes, that is our this time element. So we're going to provide the style for that as well. So the first thing we need to add here a font size property. So font size is going to like 48 pixel. Okay, and then after that we need to add here a font weight property. So font weight is going to be like our bold. And then we need to add here a color property, which is used to change the color of the font. So I'm going to use here a black. So 000. Okay, and after that I need to here specify the margin property. So margin is going to like 0 pixel, and then we need to use the 10 pixel. So from left and right is going to like 0 pixel, and from top and bottom is going to like 10 pixels. You can see it's actually now appearing perfectly. Okay, and then I need to here use the another, which is a colon element, which is used to actually style these colons. Right now they are actually very tiny and small. Okay, so I'm going to write here an element. So here I have mistaken the name, and then inside of that I'm going to specify the same property, coming back and just only reducing the size of the font. So you can see now this is what our digital clock looks like. The CSS part same as it is like this one. The only difference is that this one has I actually resized the font of this one, and inside of that I didn't do that. So you can do it as per your need if you want. So that's it for the CSS part of this particular project, which is our digital clock. So our next step is to add the JavaScript to this project.